Hello, welcome to my channel. I am an angry little plant if you haven't seen my videos before. This is a video about my internship experience in Delhi. Here I'll be discussing everything that I did in Delhi, from how I got my internship, where I stayed, how I traveled, and additional experiences that you could have in Delhi, and how to make the most out of your experience. So let's talk about how to apply for an internship. So basically, I applied for my internship through the internship and placement committee in my college, but also I applied for many internships personally. My friend also helped me a lot with that, and let's see if I can get her to talk a little about that on a different video. The idea is that if you are from Delhi, you can approach any lawyer from the district court. Tis Hazari is where I worked, so the culture is that you meet the lawyer offline and give them your CV, and hopefully they'll be friendly enough to give you an internship and allow you to work with them. Do bear in mind that a city has multiple district courts. So if you are not able to find internship in, let's just say, Tis Hazari, then you might find one in Rohini or Karkarduma. Now let's talk about accommodation. This is something that you've got to be careful about when you are applying in Delhi, because it can be expensive. So accommodation will be a big chunk of your expenses. And I personally didn't have a very good experience with accommodation in Delhi. Where I was living, it was really overpriced, and we weren't getting good food on time, and there were no laundry facilities. So it is always a good idea to apply to a PG instead of applying for a flat. But the thing is, that is also not uniform. The quality is not uniform. One thing that everyone should bear in mind is that when you are applying for an accommodation, make sure it is close to the metro, because that will be a really big help for you. Now let's talk about travel and the kind of work we are expected to do in the internship. As far as travel is concerned, your priority would be the metro. You would want to travel by metro as much as you can, and for this you would need a metro card. And what we don't find out through online research is how difficult it is to procure this one card. We went to so many metro stations just to find this one card. And you'll usually end up finding it at metro stations where people don't travel as much. Once you've reached close to your destination by metro, you would want to take a Rapido, which is a bike if you're traveling solo, and a reasonable auto. It is better than Ola and Uber so far. And if nothing is working out, you always have Ola or Uber, which is extremely expensive in Delhi. I was living with my friends in Lajpat Nagar, which was most convenient for me at the time because the metro was really close for us. And from there, I used to travel to Tis Hazari every day, which took me like 45 minutes to an hour every day. But because it was in the metro, I did not have to encounter traffic or like any delays for that matter. So moving on to the kind of work you can expect as an intern in a district court. Since I was in my second year, like the third semester, I had not studied a lot of important subjects like IPC, CRPC, CPC. So whenever I was given a case, I had to sit and research a lot. And thankfully, I had a senior with me who was always ready to guide me. So do bear that in mind, that not everything that you read, you'll be able to understand it. With this, you will be taught the basics of drafting if you're whoever you're interning under thinks that you are capable enough for drafting. They'll give you very basic documents, they'll give you a format, and you'll be just following that format and creating a replica on the basis of your case. For example, at my internship, I made an application for cancellation of a non-bailable warrant. See, in these internships, you may not completely understand what you're doing at first, but if your advocate is kind enough, he will tell you why a certain application is being made and where does it fit in the procedure of law and order. My friends who were working with a human rights lawyer did a lot of groundwork, taking a lot of surveys, actually helping the underprivileged get important documents that they require for their survival. So in a lot of ways, it depends on the kind of lawyer you are working under. In such places, it's really important that you take initiative and ask for work. Don't bother them too much about it, but please remember that an internship, a good internship, is one where the person you're interning under, the advocate you're interning under, is as enthusiastic about giving you work as you are about receiving it, which is something I have been fortunate enough to have in all of my internships. Now let's talk about the perks of interning in Delhi. And this will be from a perspective of somebody who's really in one of their initial years in college and not a senior who is really attempting to make contacts. In Delhi, you will get a lot of exposure because there are so many people and so many cases. And since there are so many different courts there, you actually get an idea of the contrast between a district court, a high court, and a Supreme Court. The Supreme Court really doesn't allow interns, but I was able to see how the functioning of a district court is different from a high court. Another amazing thing is that you get to attend a lot of events. So, for example, the initial footage was of Jashn-e-Ekta, where my friend took me, and it was an event celebrating Urdu as a language. With this, we also attended a Pride fundraiser. These such events don't really happen in smaller cities, and even like in medium-sized cities like Lucknow. So that is something that if you are able to attend such events during your internship, that's just cherry on top. All in all, this experience made me realize why Delhi is so sought after when it comes to internships. And I would definitely recommend interning in Delhi whenever you can. It doesn't have to be in your junior years, but in senior years, you should definitely go for it. Have a nice day.